Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to my channel, Ethereal Fox, and I am She. Thank you for tuning in today. And today we're talking about good or bad, and who's to say which is which. When you think about it, how many times has somebody said something was good, or topic was good, or somebody was good, and you didn't feel that way? Or vice versa. You heard someone think something is bad, but your perception of it isn't bad. Well, that's when perception as reality comes into play. Whatever you perceive is really your reality. And when the earth has 7.7 billion people on it per the last census, then that's a lot of different perceptions. So who's to say whose is right and whose is wrong? Who's holding the status quo list of what is and what isn't? So I was thinking about this and I came across a video of a woman, she's a speaker and an author, named Heather Lanier. Heather Lanier has a disabled daughter, and her experience taught her basically something about good or bad, right? But it wasn't just that story that was intriguing. It was a story that she shared from she had learned, and it's like a 2,000-year-old plus story about a farmer and his horse. And I want to share this story with you. So, one day, a farmer's horse ran away. And the neighbors came over and said, "Oh, that's too bad." And he goes, "Good or bad? Who's to say?" The next day, his horse returns and brings with it 12 wild horses. And the neighbor comes over again and, "Oh my God, that's awesome news." And he's like, "Good or bad? Who's to say?" The next day, his son is taming one of the wild horses, falls off and breaks his leg. Here comes the neighbor again. "That's terrible." The farmer, "Good or bad? Who's to say?" The next day, the army comes through the village to draft everyone's firstborn son for the war. But when they see the farmer's son is injured, they pass him by. Of course, here comes the neighbors. "That's awesome news." And the farmer, "Good or bad? Who's to say?" Her message and the message of this story is that we prematurely label things as good or bad when they haven't even finished unraveling. And even when I don't think they ever really finish. Each situation rolls into a different situation, which rolls into a different situation, which never ends. And amongst those different turns and changes of the directions, you notice that right now it seems good, and right now it seems bad, and right now it seems good, right now it seems bad. It kind of just ping pongs back and forth. So who's to say what is good and what is bad? Who's here to really give you the rules on every little itty bitty thing and every little itty bitty thought? And it helped me because you always want to, well, a lot of us want to make sure that we're doing things the right way. We're living our lives the right way. We're walking the right paths. But I can't be the only one that would wonder so many times, am I really doing the right thing, the good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this the wrong thing? But good or bad, who's to say? I've been through a whole lot of stuff in my life, as we all have. Some very traumatic situations and some situations that made me feel very scared and lonely. And when I look at my life, when I look back at it, I am grateful for so many of those situations that I thought were bad because they taught me so much. They taught me how to prevent those situations from happening again if I don't like them. And it taught me also how to relate to other people who have been through those types of situations so that they don't feel alone. And it really did shape my perspective because now I just really don't care about good or bad because who's to say? Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get up and run outside and take a machine gun to whoever I see or something crazy like that. But what I'm saying is I can't hang my head when something isn't going the way that I want it to go at the time because it's probably going to birth something that I do want later down the line. Too many times in our life, a good situation births a bad situation. And something we think is a bad situation turns around and births something that's good to us, what we perceive as good. But what you perceive as good may not be the same thing for somebody else. It's somebody out there that doesn't agree with you. So when you look at it that way, you stop judging yourself. Because there's no one way to live life. Come on, there's 7.7 billion people out here right now. And that's just today. This earth's been around for a long time. Probably can't even count up to how many souls have actually walked it. So whose life was the right one, the absolute right one, and everything they did is the right way? And how do you know what the right or wrong thing to do in your situations in real time? How do you know when to walk away from a situation or when to stay and hold your ground or stand your ground? What's the right or wrong way to raise your children? Some would say that you should spank your child if your child is unruly. Some would say that you should sit your child down and just talk to them. Somebody is going to disagree. Someone's going to think that this is how you should do it and that's how you should do it. And everybody thinks that they're right. But good or bad, who's to say? Seriously, I just been on a really cool journey within myself. And one of the reasons why I started this YouTube is because I want to be able to share with people so that you can understand that you're not alone in how you think and there is no right or wrong. I felt that way for a very long time. But when you say that out loud in the Matrix, people don't like that. Because this world wants to, the higher powers, as you say, or the elite group that is in charge of everything, wants there to be rules so that you feel guilty and so that you feel a certain emotion, a low vibration when you step outside of those narrow rules. But how can you fit an entire world of billions of people into a list of rules? Twerking over here in America is frowned upon to some people. Twerking over in the Caribbean is a part of their culture. There's 3-year-old little girls doing it, for God's sakes, and no one finds anything wrong with it. It doesn't have a negative connotation to their culture, but it has a negative connotation to our culture. Good or bad, who's to say? PETA would lose their shit if they saw someone butchering an animal. But in some countries, it's a part of their religion to sacrifice an animal. Good or bad, who's to say? They're praising their deity. There's over 1,000 denominations in religion. So whose is right? Whose is wrong? Good or bad? Who's to say? In our country, we don't want our young women and men engaging in relationships and adult types of situations and scenarios. In other countries, they're marrying those little girls at 9, 10 years old. Good or bad? Who's to say? So when you look at it that way, think about times where you didn't take an opportunity because you felt that someone that you love, maybe your family, maybe your mate, maybe your friend, or maybe, I don't know, something that you thought about because of TV told you it was wrong or right, and you decided not to take that opportunity, and you regret it because you didn't think it was a good one. You couldn't see how it would pan out and how it would work out. What'd I say? Good or bad? Who's to say? You pass up an opportunity that the ancestors were trying to get you to take, not just because of what was going to be on the other end of it, but because of the lesson that was in it as well. Sometimes the lesson is to trust the universe and don't worry about how it's going to unfold, because if you really trust it, it will unfold for you. Nothing in this world happens against you. It's all for you. Trust me, I've been through some pretty brutal things, some pretty traumatic things, and things that I wouldn't necessarily want to share with the world. But what I can honestly say is, standing here, January 2020, the 25th of January, I have no regrets. Because they were all for a reason. Every millisecond of time is planned out or is for a reason, usually for the better. Even when it doesn't look like it, it's for the better. You fall out with a friend? Well, maybe because that relationship wasn't serving either one of you any good or bad. Who's to say? And when I look at it that way, I just can't judge myself anymore. I mean, I won't say never, but I've been learning over the years, don't judge yourself. Because we do the best that we can typically with what we have. And when we make mistakes, okay, aren't you supposed to? Isn't that what life is about? Learning from your mistakes? How can you learn a lesson if you don't make the mistake? You weren't born with the download of how-tos for every situation. So sometimes you have to go through it to learn a lesson. And sometimes it's multiple lessons in a situation. I had a girlfriend hit me up that said that she was really stressed and depressed because she may be getting evicted. Her money's been acting a little funny. It's been hard for her to find another job. And in my mind, I'm celebrating for her. And let me tell you why. Because say she does get evicted. This is how I look at things. Say she gets evicted, and let me swap her position. Say it's me and I got evicted because I couldn't keep up and I just couldn't find a job. I'm trying really hard, but for whatever reason, no one's calling me back, blah, 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 right? Well, the way I look at it is, if it does happen, it's for me. And I even make up scenarios in my head as to why that probably happened. Somebody was probably going to break in it and, I don't know, shoot me and my kids or something. So it's best that I skedaddle. Or something terrible was going to happen and I was going to be just a minute too late when I got to the location because of the distance that I drove from this house to that situation. I just make up scenarios in my head because in reality, that's exactly what's going on. The universe is trying to spare you or move you for a reason, to bring you closer to other opportunities, to take you to open doors that you can't see from where you are. To get to the top of a mountain, you must go up and down hills. And when you're at the bottom of the valley of a hill, you can't see over that hill to the next level. So you have to trust it. As well as whatever you focus on grows. If you don't want those types of outcomes, then imagine the outcome that you do want and never give up on that outcome. Have unwavering faith that whatever you want is going to happen for you. And you're not going to understand right then at the very beginning how you're going to get it, but that's because it's not your domain. That's the universe's job. What some call God, the creator, the source. It's not your job. It's not your jurisdiction to know exactly how you're going to get from point A to point B. Your job is to trust that you'll get there and stay in a high vibration, because fear is the lowest vibration of them all. In this country, the higher ups, the elites, want you to stay in fear because you won't manifest your desires and you'll become slave to them. You'll want and yearn for someone to save you, and they'll put on like that this is the way to go. But in reality, your desires that are in your heart is the path that the creator and yourself are co-creating to walk that path. That's the path you're supposed to be on. Everyone's is different and everyone's is unique. Again, 7.7 billion people on this earth. No one's path is the same. Think about that. We're like a bunch of snowflakes out here. So stop beating yourself up. Whatever you're not proud of in your life right now, hold your head up. Because good or bad, who the fuck is it to tell you what's good or bad, man? Come on. I look at stuff that other people been through or go through and they feel bad and ashamed and embarrassed. But then I think in my mind, I know a good 10 people that's gone through more than that or something that they feel was worse than that. Because who's to say, man? It's really a way that we have brainwashed ourselves into thinking about good or bad. What I believe in is there are happy and unhappy people, yes. And happy people make good and happy decisions typically, or the best decision. You make your best decisions when you're happy. Tell me I'm lying. And you typically make a bad decision when you're unhappy, when you're irate, when you're angry, when you're depressed, when you're moody. Your mind isn't clear. Your mind reads everything as noise, from sound to what it sees to what it smells. Anything that triggers any of your senses, your brain reads it as what we call noise. So I can't stress it enough. When you think that what you're going through isn't favorable and it's something that you aren't proud of, the universe is actually going to give you more reasons to feel that way. So your best bet is to just find a way to get up to the higher vibration. And I can give you some tips. What I like to do is I get up and I journal every day. I should have brought my journal over here because I journal every single day. And I start with what I'm grateful for. That's it. If you could think of 3 to 5 things every day that you're grateful for, and I don't care if they're the same thing, I don't care if they're different things, what's going to happen is you're going to strengthen that momentum day by day. And what's going to happen is the universe is going to give you more reasons to feel that way. If you keep worrying and feeling like you're doing so bad, then the universe is going to say, your wish is my command. Here's something else to make you feel that way. But if you look at it this way, no matter what's going on, I know this is working out for me. So I will stand here and at peace, be still. Stand firm. Find something that makes you laugh. Breathe, meditate, get out into nature and smell that air. Hug a tree, I don't care. Pet your dog or your cat. Hug your child, kiss him. Watch a funny movie. Call a loved one. Call a friend. Take yourself out to eat. Take yourself to the movies. There's so many different things that you can do to raise your vibrations, but the very best way to me, good or bad, who's to say, but the best way for me is I like to, and it's the easiest because it's something that I can do without having to get up. I don't need a dime to do it. I don't need anyone else to do it. As I sit and I think of all the things that I'm grateful for. Next thing you know, I can't even stop at 3 to 5. I'm 50 things deep. Good or bad, who's to say? So I hope this helps somebody to stop being so hard on yourself. There's enough people out here to be hard on you. Why be hard on yourself? You're supposed to be your biggest cheerleader. You're supposed to be the person that loves you the most. And love doesn't seem to work that way, beating yourself up. Don't give yourself too tough of love. Of course you should be disciplined, and of course you should really have good discernment. But again, who's to say your decisions are really good or really bad? There's no such thing in my opinion. Let's get out here and just live happily and free and trust that the universe is going to protect us and provide to us the things in our lives that we want and desire. And that no matter what's going on, it's for us, not against us. If you can really wire your brain to believe that, I promise you, the universe is just going to stand on its head to make sure that it gives you exactly what you desire and keep your vibrations high. So that's all I got for you today on good or bad, who's to say? That's my new one. I'm going to get a shirt that says good or bad, who's to say? Poppycock. So thank you again for tuning into my channel. Like and subscribe. Hit that little bell if you want notifications on when I post my next video. I'm going to keep pushing out and dishing out content. And I want to thank you again. I am so grateful for your view. I am so grateful for this moment we've had together. Peace out, peace out. Peace out, peace out, peace out.